we pay Jason like big money. He reminds me of you. Who knows about that show Tommy on Martin? And they had the guy Tommy. Nobody really knew what he did, but he always had money. That's like Jason. So come on down, Jason.
Almost 20.
No.
All right, every time I get cut.
I know.
I came here, for some of y'all who have been here, this will be a repeat. For some of y'all who've been coming to my masterminds, this will be a repeat. But I'm here to talk about Prince George's County and the development herein. I'm not a realtor. My benefit is I get to look across the business, across multiple geographies, and see what's going on in different businesses. One of the things I heard years ago is, man, I wish I was in DC back in the day and I could have made all that money. And my statement in the last number of business masterminds is you're currently in DC. And Frank, if you could pop up the flag, or I'm sorry, the map, we'll do a quick rundown. So here are the things we look at when we're analysts, when we're looking at a market. So it's pretty simple. What is the number one problem with selling real estate in Prince George's County that you run into from people who aren't from Prince George's County?
Schools.
Who said schools?
Taxes.
Okay.
And taxes.
A year and a half ago, maybe, I don't think it's been full 2 years, we got a new superintendent. He was previously 2014's national finalist for Superintendent of the Year. He came over from Anne Arundel after doing a bang-up job over there and came over here. The reason I'm giving you all these little tidbits, and you're like, well, what's any of that got to do with real estate? All of these are indicators, and they're indicators to the target market that the businesses and who are trying to develop the county are going to serve. So I've been here 17 years, and in 17 years, excuse me, I don't know what I'm saying. 17 years, they've invested like $5,000 to put Prince George's County, okay place to live, or those brick signs. A livable community, which sounds like people are on parole. So, but seriously, in the 17 years, the first 12 years, they invested very minimal amounts in the infrastructure. So I'm putting this map up here for those of you who haven't been, because I want to run through some things with you guys that in the last 5 years, they have put $11.5 billion worth of money on the books for Prince George's County. Now, for those of you who are a little slow and don't get it, they don't spend, no one spends $11.5 billion and approves that. Both a combination of public money and private investment, unless something big is about to occur in that geography. And that's any geography. If you find that, if you hear that they're putting $11.5 billion into Mars, something's about to happen on Mars, and you need to start paying attention to it. But they're doing it here in our backyard. And so the things that have traditionally been complaints, like schools, they're solving. The things that have been our strengths, like our access to roadways, railways, they are expanding. And so all of these things are starting to come on the books in an effort to bring more people into Prince George's County, because quietly kept, we have the best roadways, access to roadways, railways, and infrastructure. You can live in Prince George's County and work in Annapolis, Baltimore, DC, and now with the Purple Line starting very easily all the way up to 270. All of these things aren't being done. But what I really want you to walk away in my quick 10 minutes, because
Well, you can have more.
oh, now I can have more, is that there are a number of once-in-a-generation investments that are occurring. And you don't have to take my word for it. All you have to do is sit and think about going around anywhere you've lived. So let's start with the first one. Down here, everybody knows they sunk $2 billion into National Harbor. That $2 billion doesn't include the $952 million that MGM is about to put there, nor does it include the outlet malls, nor does it include the other resorts that are coming. So, quick question. When's the last time anywhere you live, that they dropped a brand new Las Vegas style casino in your backyard? They don't do it. And so what that means is that someone in business from a very far away distance looked down on our geography and said, this is desirable. Now here's the funny thing. there's a ripple effect. Everyone think of a bullseye. So the center of the bullseye is the 2 billion. And then you go out 1 circle, then you go out 2 circles, then you go out 3 circles. So I'm going to ask you guys a few quick questions. If you drop a $2 billion or a $1 billion casino and a $2 billion development there, where do the employees go to buy their shoes or go to eat lunch? They ain't buying it in a $1 billion casino. So the next circle out has to be what? There has to be a pharmacy, there has to be doctor's offices, and shopping in houses or apartments or something. And so this area right here, an interesting thing about Fort Washington is the view from this side of the water is even better than the view from this side of the water in Virginia. Don't believe me? Go sit on Pat's 60-foot dock.
Thank you, Jason.
I didn't know you had the dock. Oh, never mind. My point being, all of this down here is coming into play. The reason being is in MGM, where are the executives and middle-level managers going to live? If you don't go sell them a house. No, the question is they may not live here unless you sell them a house. There are multiple reports that are coming out that investors who don't live in our community en masse are creating funds to buy all the investment properties they can in Prince George's County. If you were at my last class, I read in the USA Today, and I forwarded it to Pat and Emmerich, that Prince George's County across the country, the USA Today did a article in their money, you flip it open, it has life, sports, money. In their money section, Prince George's County was the #1 investor geography. So an average investor put $125,000 in an investment in the property in Prince George's County and made 86% in the last 2 to 3 years, which means they sucked up the inventory that was there. And anytime you suck up the inventory, that's good because it pushes all the prices up. And so why are these people that are far away from our geography suddenly taking all this attention? And the article wasn't a local article, it was a national article. #1 was Prince George's County, #2 was York, Pennsylvania, #3 was Baltimore. And so investors in business in development are like catfish. They go where the food is. We have a lot of cheap land comparatively. Does that make sense? And we have great infrastructure. So down here, Fort Washington, they're developing. Once in a generation type of development. You're not going to see it again. It's like Tyson's Corner when they put that in there. They're not building a second Tyson's Corner. It's once in a generation. So that's right here. All the Tantallion, beautiful big houses on the water or on the golf courses, those are going to start coming into play. What they're hoping to have occur is to lure people out here to live. Because it only makes sense. You live right here, you can commute right into the district in 15 minutes. You have a beautiful dock for your boat. And you have all the shopping that you want, upscale, low-scale restaurants right here. There are people far away paying attention to all these different things. The other thing Prince George's has is we have a number of the one-of-a-kind in the entire nation infrastructure in terms of the federal government. So there's only one place that Air Force One calls home. That is somewhere right here, right? Andrews, somewhere in this one. The archives, if you want to see the Declaration of Independence, go downtown to Constitution Avenue. If you want to see 93% of everything else the government archives, it's here in Prince George's County. If you go in different facilities, if you go out to 301, they have a census building. It's really a bunker, but they have there are things that they're putting in Prince George's County. If you go to the USDA facility over in Beltsville, they're doing all types of biochemical experiments. There's only 3 space centers: Houston, Kennedy in Florida, and NASA Goddard. It's here. University of Maryland, which is right here somewhere, right here. They is a top 30 school. Route 1. If you haven't driven Route 1 through Hyattsville in the last 2 to 3 years, you won't recognize it because they're getting rid of everything that's there and replacing, pardon me? Laurel, right up here in Laurel, they're building a whole new city for $1.2 billion. They're talking about and will probably put the FBI Center, new campus, right here. That's going to bring a whole lot of jobs. 100 yards in this direction, they're building a brand new teaching hospital. If you want to know the last teaching hospital they built, it was Anne Arundel. And all you need to do to guess, last time we had the meeting, someone said, well, how many doctors' hospitals? Remember, were you there? How many commercial buildings, because I was talking about the center of the target, go out 1 circle, 2 circles. What would a teaching hospital with this many employees need to have? They need to have commercial offices. They need to have dry cleaners, printers, etc. The question was, how many doctors' buildings do you think they'll be building? And I estimated 9 to 12 out of the gate. The other estimate from one of our agents was, I think they might only need, that's 9 to 12 buildings containing multiple. They said, well, I think maybe 9 to 12 just units. And so I happen to be at Anne Arundel Hospital. Anyone who hasn't gone out should go look at some of the different things that are being built, and you'll get a picture of exactly how much the economic impact is about to occur here. The same thing that occurred in DC is occurring here right now. They are linking together all of the different things. It is not a surprise. Where is New Carrollton's about right here? That the Purple Line is about to start. They announced that about 5 years ago, 7 years ago. The Purple Line runs from New Carrollton all the way up to Bethesda and 270. Currently, the metro runs in like spokes on a bicycle wheel. The Purple Line is the first to connect the outer spoke, which is a direct route. The question became, why are they running it to New Carrollton?
Amtrak.
Go ahead.
In DC to out of DC.
So I'm going to repeat that.
Greyhound.
It's easier, I live right here in the Bowie, Mitchellville area. It's easier for me to go to a meeting in Manhattan than it is at 10 o'clock in the morning than it is for me to go to a meeting in Tyson's Corner. I leave at the exact same time. I've done this numerous times. I get home earlier in Rex. I can go right here to New Carrollton, catch the Excella, and be in Manhattan in about 2 hours and 40 minutes, roughly, 3 hours. I can leave my house at the exact same time and just barely make it to Tyson's Corner with traffic. None of this is going unnoticed. The other thing is, it's to carry, the question became when they did it, why are they bringing it over to New Carrollton? And the original question, the original answer was, well, to make it easier for people here to commute to their jobs. And at first glance, that looks great until you realize ain't a lot of people in this population right now commuting up to 270. So it lines up what has historically happened when they start to redo a geography. There is a target demographic that they are seeking to sell these different things to. Now, I personally don't care if we sell to Martians. I just want to make sure who gets the commission. If you notice, in the first 10 years, 12 years, we've been open 10 years. First 8 or 9 years, we very rarely saw a sign that didn't say, have, a 301 number on it, or wasn't an agent that we at least knew. Now we're seeing listing upon listing upon listing with 703, 410, and they're penetrating deep into our territory. If you control the listings, you control the market. The issue is everyone has to get on board with understanding all the different things that are occurring. So in Laurel, they're putting $1.2 billion. Where am I? Right here. In Fort Washington, they're putting over $3 billion. We already discussed that. Suitland. Anyone been out to Suitland lately? Has anyone noticed the luxury condos that are in? Did you drive by those and be like, what is that? In Suitland. Suitland's it's a beautiful parkway if you're driving it. It's right next to Andrews. And with the base realignments, it makes complete sense. If you go up to, let me see where we're at. Andrews, Westphalia, they just dropped $2 billion there, and they're still developing right over where the BJ's is. None of this is by accident. Who's been in the county about 10 years? Remember 10 years ago when we were begging to get like McDonald's with a playland in it, surveys? No, seriously, remember that? And it was just like, why can't we get anything?
Whole Foods.
What happened is, and you can't see it here, this right here, this little diamond called Washington, D.C., there's nowhere left to build. When you go out to Montgomery County, there's nowhere left to build. When you go out to Loudoun County, they still have some room, but not on the main corridors, and now that's congested. There's nowhere left to build. Howard County is booming. Anne Arundel County is booming. But here's the funny thing. Location, location, location. We quietly have the best rec centers. If you looked at the, not the recreational facilities. If you looked at the, pardon me?
Maryland National Capital Parking Plan as a whole is better than any place else.
That is true. If you look at the Olympic, you know, when we submitted for the Olympics, I think it was 8 years ago, there were a number of things that were occurring here in our county because we're the ones with the Olympic grade shooting facility. We're the ones with the sports and learning center that's an Olympic grade training facility for gymnastics, track, and other sports. There are all these things that we have. We have all these multiple tennis bubbles, indoor swimming pool, indoor skating, ice skating. When you go to the other jurisdictions, they just don't have. And the best part about it is we have the mass transit to go with it. Now, see, as I look out across this crowd, we don't use mass transit. We like to drive and be seen driving. But see, that's because we didn't get the memo that gas is $4. So there's a whole nother a whole nother demographic out there that loves to see those buses come every 5 minutes down the major arteries and dump them at a major metro center. All of this is coming in play. And you don't have to believe me. You can just start driving and just looking at the little orange signs that say, hey, Parks and Planning, the Planning Board's about to have a hearing. So I encourage you in the areas that you're at to recognize a couple things. One, Prince George's County is in play. DC, what you guys are looking for when you say, oh, I wish I was in DC. Where last meeting someone said there was a house, where's Vera? Bing, 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 Trinidad Avenue, was that it? 755? Now for those of you who ain't been to Trinidad Avenue, not too long ago, you couldn't spell 755. If you gave them the 7, the 5, and the 5, they'd be like, what's this? So the concept of it, a house selling for $755,000 is very interesting, but it goes back to all these basic things. So there's a quiet movement to improve the education system enough that you can put it into a brochure, and there are a number of ways you can do that. Secondly, they're developing all of our metro stations, which we have the most metro stations of any jurisdiction in the tri-state area. Thirdly, once all this is developed, they're already bringing in jobs. MGM's going to employ thousands of people. This new hospital is going to employ thousands of people. They're already employing thousands down at National Harbor. The only question is, who are they going to buy their house from? And we should be selling it from them. All the things that have been a problem, the other thing people would say is crime. Anyone heard about Prince George's County in the news lately? When I first moved here, every other day it was crime, 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 crime. They do that to get rid of people like me from buying here. But if you watch the stories lately about Prince George's County, it's all good. If you watch it on TV, they used to not even report the weather in Prince George's County. Am I lying? They would say 14 inches of snow in Alexandria, 18 inches in Annapolis. They go all the way around the Beltway, and I'd be waiting to see if the school's going to be in. And then it just skipped the entire county. Am I wrong?
No, it's true.
But now, you could tell by who they sent to report. They've changed the reporters that come out and report here. They've changed the stories. The stories have overwhelmingly changed to positive. The police, our crime is lower, and all of our indicators are positive. We still have AAA bond credit, our presence out at the International Shopping Center, what is it, IC? Yes, International Shopping Center Conference or something like, it's a national conference in Las Vegas where all the retailers go to figure out where they're going to put, all the different things, restaurants, hotels, etc. We used to have to beg for a McDonald's Playland, and now we're getting the Wegmans and all the other things. We still have major chunks of land that we don't know what they're going to do that are possible economic center. Landover Mall. The learners aren't just going, it's vacant for a reason. Something's about to occur. What I encourage you guys to do is start looking around and asking questions. Start checking the Parks and Planning website. It'll tell you all the different things. And start recognizing that, like the old book said, that there are diamonds right under your feet. The only question is who's going to benefit from harvesting them. So we had a question right here.
Yeah, something, Jason.